Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Job Shop USA. My name is Keith and I'm your host. All right, we're in here at the fabrication shop and we have a bearing half in the oven right now. The bearing half that we have in the oven is the lower. This is the upper. This is a two-piece bearing that Babbitt bearing for a marine shaft here again. This is old school style with slinger ring oil feed, meaning this was the top half and this was clearance for the ring to come up and roll over the shaft, and the other one is solid straight across the bottom, but it's narrower and it has paths for the rings to dip down into the sump underneath. All right, and it has two beveled or conical shapes to it so it self-aligns. So I'm getting ready to bring that bearing out here and try our hand at tinning. This is a tin surface that was underneath the Babbitt we heated with the torch and melted out. We still got to run this piece into the sandblaster, kind of clean up the rest of it so we have an all clean surface on here. I didn't see any oil or any residues, anything soaked into here, but we will be heating this one up and retinning this one as well. But I just wanted to show you the mating half to the one we're going to pull out and work with right now. Okay, let's reach in and grab our bearing half. Temperature is 500 degrees on this right now. And so you can see this worn out area in here. Now I have 2 old bottles of Harris liquid soldering and tinning flux. All right, and I'm going to try to use up this one here. I don't know if I need to shake it or not. And what I have here is remnants from the shipyard days of 50/50 solder. And we used to use it in this big size here because we used to have some big pours. And these are just a couple remnants that I had around. All right, that's 500 degrees. We were pushing a little bit fast and I thought it was too good to be true. But because your oven says it's 500 degrees does not mean that your part is 500 degrees. When you got a good mass of a part like that in an oven, you've got to wait for a certain amount of soak time. And now we have our thermometer here, temperature detector. We will measure the temperature of our part instead of taking the word of the dial or the instrumentation on our oven. Here's looking across the room at our dash on our oven, and we jacked it up a little bit. We set it for 600 degrees and it's bouncing right around 600 degrees. It's 589 right now is what it's sensing in there, but you see it firing and it has a little square on it, and it's basically telling you it's maintaining that temperature there. All right, so we'll back out of here. And I've been taking my infrared here and looking at what we got in here. About 360 degrees on there. All right, so we're just waiting for it to soak up that heat. Talk a little bit about my flux I'm using here. Harris Stay Clean liquid flux. 0 to 700 degrees is what it's noted for. And this solder, I'm just gonna say it again, is just a bar of 50-50 solder. Okay, we peek in here and let's see what we got here. I'm reading right at 499 to 501. I'm getting ready to pull this out. I want to make a test. I'm reading about 500 degrees inside the chamber there. It feels a lot warmer here now. Okay, and you can see the liquid flux has been dried up here a little bit. Let me get my other gloves on here. All right. Okay, that's still, this flux is actually good to 0 to 700 degrees. Okay, that's looking a lot better. It's looking like it's taking the tinning. I got cross ventilation in here and everything else, so you got to sit here and work this. You can see that tinning, it's taking the surface right there. Okay, now we're gonna have to block it so it can roll one way or the other. But that saturated heat in here really does help that. Okay, we're gonna want to roll that way. We need to get that blocked up. I have a piece here that might help. Awesome. Yep, that'll do it. That saturated heat really makes that work nice. You're scrubbing it, you're breaking in that surface. Oh, that old tinning surface is really, it's right there with it. All right. Yeah, meet that up there. As long as you keep the same wire brush in here, you keep that soft, that liquid solder in there. The fresh flux really gets it to glue in there. Cross ventilation, letting that fumes get the frig right out of my way here. Okay, now we're going to want to roll it to the other side. This the surface up on the side here, this is really good. Oh, I love that. Okay, let's go to the other side here now. Okay, all right, rub some more solder in here real quick, get it to melt, get a bunch all the way across here. It's not taking much solder. Okay. The hand's getting tired of scrubbing. Oh, yeah. It's gonna be nice on that other one there because the tin on here I've never had the luxury of an oven of actually setting the amount of temperature into your part. Just night and day. It is a scrubbing action, the tin, especially on the cast material here. I just had to come in and get this angle here. I don't think there's a single spot that I haven't scrubbed and got that Babbitt stick in there good. Or 50-50 solder, I should say. But that's what's going to make the difference of us having a good sticking Babbitt pour here. Because there is no grip holes or anything else on here. There we go. Okay, we're going to stand this up now. The reason why we're doing that, we're just going to make sure that there's no puddles. Okay, we got to get, when we do the heat, preheat before we pour, wire wool and brush it and kind of clean it. We almost got it that clean with the brush here, but we will. All right, there we go. This is cooled down. I went in and I had some dinner and come back out. I think it's about 100 degrees right now. I can hold my hands on it for a little bit. All right, just wanted to cover a couple things there before I conclude the video here. One is, remember the last set of bearings I did, and we had the cavities that actually anchor the Babbitt in there, and that's typical of that style bearing, and there's hundreds and hundreds of bearings that are out there, and that's the technique that they use to hold them in there. They're never combined, or I have not found one yet combined where you have the cavities that hold them and you have tin surfaces. Now, where that last bearing was worn out, instead of drilling the cavity or whatever, I could have tinned that bottom like I did this. Not every bearing has to be tinned. I mean, not every Babbitt bearing needs to be tinned before it's poured. That's what I'm trying to say. But this is a thin-walled Babbitt bearing, and thin walls are typical where they're smooth sides and they are tinned, and that is the super glue that holds the Babbitt in. And this is actually some really old. In fact, I was kind of concerned that this wasn't going to do the job because of its age, but it's still good, and it did the job just fine. I noticed one thing about this whole project, and you probably noticed it as well. I actually tinned that without picking up a torch. It didn't dawn on me until I'm having dinner and I'm kind of thinking about it, and I'm going, that was kind of weird. The reason why is because the heat was soaked in there. And actually at the beginning, I go, oh, the oven's up at 500 degrees. Bam, hey, let's go. We're gonna melt that on there. And as soon as I was going like that, you probably saw it in my face. Yeah, that's not gonna happen. How hot is that? So this tool was in the toolbox, okay? This tool should have been, whenever you got a project like that, this tool or your temp sticks. I still have my temp sticks, and I still swear by my temp sticks, and they have their purposes. I also have now, and I'm gonna be including it in on my next video here. I don't know if I should continue showing the Babbitt pour on this project here, but I wanted to at least show you my tinning process. And actually a lot of videos on YouTube about Babbitt pouring, but there isn't too many about the process of tinning. And I just wanted to put my twist on it. I'm not 100% the way you're supposed to do it, okay? And there's a lot of videos out there. What's the right way to do it? The right way to do it is the way that gives you the final results that are satisfied for you and your customer, all right? I know that the Babbitt's going to stick to this. If tinning cast iron, two things: get the oil out of it and get it clean. The surface has got to be clean and the oil's got to be gone, and then you'll have no issue on it. I am very, very surprised how just touching up the tinning, the old tinning right here, it was like, it took just like that. It was cool. So I can't wait to touch this one up here. And of course I use the brass wool here just to scrape out my excess in here. And of course this is going to go in the oven again, but I am going to wash it and get rid of the flux residue that's on here. So I'll clean it and then kind of get it prepped up. And I've already got a couple ideas on how I'm going to dam this up. And this is going to be my inner tube that's going to give me the size. This bearing, the stock shaft is 6-inch. The other stock size that we did was 5-inch. So anyway, we're going to work on it. This is for the same customer. Now that customer just called me the other day, and actually next Tuesday I'm going over to their shop, and that shaft that goes in the other bearings, they've got it in the boat there, and they found some run out on it, and they have asked me to get my gear, go over there, and I'm going to take and straighten that shaft on their floor. Now I may take my camera and do some videoing of it. I might even shoot it live on my locals. All right. So this is a wrap on here. Let me know if I should continue this video with this pour, and I guess that's it. All right, this has been Job Shop USA. I have to chuckle. The other day I was bagging up some of the hats that you all are purchasing, and thank you very much for the support. And an order came in for my Patriot attitude, and I had plenty of blanks, but I didn't have any finished. So what did I do? I sent the gentleman that ordered one, and it went to California. I had to take down the one on my wall, and I shipped that one out. And then immediately, the last couple nights, I have finished up 5 other units. So I actually have 5 in stock right now that I can ship out today. And I'm just finding a couple different places to hang them in the shop so that they stay nice. And but my Patriot attitude it's awesome. I did the artwork, and then everybody said, hey, you need to have stickers. And then they said, hey, you need to have hats. And so it's all kind of come along. I have sent them to Australia, Canada, across Europe, across the United States. And, you know, I'll keep making them as long as people want them. And I want to thank you very much for the support. All right, one other thing we got to talk about before I go. Okay, in the last 2 videos, we've splined our shaft. We're still over on all these diameters, and we're still over on this as well. But we want to start planning our setup, and we're gonna grind all finishes on here except for the 2 sets of keyways that go in here, because there's a keyway and then 180 there's another keyway, and of course after the shaft is hardened, I'm not going to be able to do those. So I'm going to put those keyways in before we do our heat treating. But I'm already into the thinking, and I am going to be doing the finishes in the surface grinder. I have the proper setup to set up this spline shaft and grind it in this machine. That's going to be coming up. I'm going to probably give you a highlight on my locals as I'm setting it up from time to time until I actually create the video on it. So you can hit the highlights there as well on my locals. All right. Thank you for watching. Job Shop USA.